Hello and a very warm welcome to the Fearless Entrepreneurs Weekly Masterclass. This is where I share with you a key strategy that I use all the time in my business and that I share with my clients that really makes growing your business possible and very, very graceful as well. So if you haven't met me before, I'm Rachel Smith, the business grower, and I am passionate about supporting female entrepreneurs to grow their awesome business so that they can live the most extraordinary, amazing, fabulous lives, whatever that looks like for you. And today we're going to be talking about something that's very important and very, very essential, but I also understand that not very many people do this either. So we've got lots of people coming and joining. That's fantastic to see. We've got Lynn, we've got Kelly, we've got Samantha. You're all very, very welcome here. So we're just going to wait a few minutes, and we all know how Facebook Lives work, don't we? We have to wait a few minutes for the audience to grow. So come and say hi. Let me know that you're here. I can see that a lot of my gorgeous people are here. Wow, Carol's here. Well done. I'm so excited as well today because Kelly, the lovely, marvellous woman behind so many of my things in my business, including my website, has just created me my brand new kind of look and feel for something that I'm really excited about sharing with you guys, which I'll share later. Yeah, hi Lynn, lovely to see you. I bet it's a bit chilly in Scotland. That was a really terrible impersonation of a Scottish person, wasn't it? How insulting, honestly. Crikey, if somebody tried to do a Yorkshire impersonation, I'd be well upset, wouldn't I? So we're here to talk about our businesses. We're here to complete a piece of work that actually is really important right now. And if you try to just leap forward into the next 12 months without doing this work, you're actually going to probably stay in the same situation that you're currently in. The sun is shining. I absolutely love Scotland. Just as a side note, does anybody here watch Outlander or has read the Outlander books? And if you don't, if you don't know what I mean, you really do need to check them out. Oh, please don't let this be a delivery. What's it like, Carol and Samantha? Every time I get onto a live stream, somebody tries to deliver something. I'm just going to ignore them. Last week, when I was running my virtual mastermind day, it was a sofa. That was tricky, wasn't it? Right, ignoring them, unless I've got something really exciting. Can't think I've got anything. Who else is getting tons of deliveries right now at home? I'll just, right, they're not delivering here. Brilliant, that's great, we can ignore it. So there's that saying, isn't there? If you do what you've always did, you will always get what you've always got. I think it's a real tongue twister. No, not another sofa, Kelly, don't worry. My sofa buying is over. So if you do what you've always did, you will always get what you've always got, or something like that. You know that saying. And this is definitely true in our businesses, isn't it? And until we've actually take a step back and actually look at our businesses, it's very difficult to be able to pinpoint exactly what's working really well in your business and what isn't working really well in that business. And what I see a lot of what happens with female entrepreneurs, and I do have to put my hand up and say that I am also guilty of this, is that I see, women who are really passionate about what it is that they do, who are really excited about going out there with a business, getting it out there, talking to their clients, working with the clients, making the sales and all of that stuff. And we're all so busy with all of the actions and everything that we fill our days with. But when do you actually take some time out to figure out what is working well for you? And so many people are stuck in a groove that they find very difficult to get out of. And I talk about this groove a lot. Other people describe it in some other form, but if you've been following me for a little while, you know that I talk about it being your groove. And this is, because we keep doing the same actions. And I've shared this in a couple of previous masterclasses where we've talked about mindset and I've talked about quantum leaping. So if you're interested in that, all of these past masterclasses are over on YouTube. I'm trying to think what my YouTube thing is now. If you have a search for Rachel Smith, the business grower, you'll find it. So what I'd love to hear from all of you guys who are here this afternoon, and anybody who's watching the recording back, is I would love to hear how many of you actually take time out to figure out what is working well in your business. So I would love to hear that just whilst I have a cuppa. Whilst you're kind of pondering this question and wondering how truthful you're actually going to be, let me share why I do it. So back in 2012, I worked with my very first business coach, the absolutely amazing Bernadette Doyle. And if none of you have ever come across Bernadette Doyle, A, I'll be very surprised, but B, go check her out. She's amazing. She's such an arse kicker, and she's great as well. And she's just this like marketing person ninja. And I didn't realise at the time how fortunate I was to actually be part of a year-long programme with her in 2012. And one of the things that she introduced me to during that period of time was the power of actually bringing a regular review of what you're doing into your business. And the way that she kind of explained it to us, and the way that we took it forward, and certainly I took it forward, and I still do to this day, is that we not only review at the end of a year, but we review at the end of a week, the end of the month, the end of a quarter, bi-yearly, so that you get a really, really clear picture of what on earth is going on. Otherwise, you'll just stay in your groove and you'll just keep getting the same results. So, you know, she shared that with me in 2012, and in 2017, I am still doing it. And generally, at this time of year, I generally hold like a webinar where I'm getting, you know, people to do the visions and do this review and everything like that. And actually what I did last week is that I ran that as a virtual mastermind day and got my clients to do that work. And yeah, everybody who completed their review was like, oh my God, you know, this is really enlightening. So I really want to kind of share with you just how important it is to take this time out. So let's just have a look what people say. Yeah, Lynn's really good at taking time out to do the review, and Kelly is as well. For the guys who are taking the time out and are reviewing, you know, it'd be great to understand why you do that. You know, what have you learnt to be really powerful? Because I want to give the people who perhaps going, well, do you know what, I've got enough to do without sitting down every week or every month or every year and actually completing a review. And the other ones of you who perhaps haven't done a review, perhaps it's because you're not quite sure where you'll actually start. And if you hang on till the end of this masterclass, I'll share where I've got a very cool and totally free downloadable that you can download and actually start your own review of 2012. So, and if you like it, you can obviously adapt it and bring it into your business and do it more regularly. So for me, one of the really crucial things is, and I've talked about this a lot, is that we're all evolving as business owners. Some of us have only been in business for a really short period of time. Other people have been in business for a really long time. And it's a really crazy world that we live in, and it's a really crazy being an entrepreneur. And lots of us are working in our businesses on our own, or we're working where we've got some support. But, you know, we're mainly spending a lot of time in our heads and in our hearts. And what I've discovered a lot, and this is certainly the work that I have done around money, is that during the years that I've been evolving as an entrepreneur and been like trying different things out and working with different people in different ways, or trying different promotions or launches or whatever, is that when it hasn't gone right for whatever reason, maybe that's something I've done, it's something that has been out of my control, maybe it's somebody else, what I've discovered is I've certainly laid on the blame, and it's like giving myself a really hard time. So let me know if this is resonate with you. Just put some thumbs up or some hearts. But like when things aren't going particularly well in the past, I've definitely laid on the blame and really given myself a very, very hard time. So, and this is one of the crucial things about your review, is that you get an opportunity to release that. Because until you release any of the kind of negativity, whether that's been something about how you feel that you've done, or somebody else has done something to you within your business, and of course this goes for life as well, but until you've actually completed the forgiveness work, whether that's to yourself or somebody else, it's really hard to move forward. Even if you've got really, really exciting plans for the next 12 months, it's really difficult to keep moving forward when you keep blaming yourself and you keep getting into this kind of blame culture. So yeah, so Samantha was saying that she found doing a review really, really liberating. And it's definitely one of the key elements within any review that I do is learning those lessons. And who keeps getting lessons of the same kind of lesson that keeps coming up for them as well? So again, just give me some hearts or some thumbs up to say that, yeah, you keep repeating the same mistakes, so you keep getting the same lessons back to you. And again, you will keep getting those lessons until you've learnt the lesson. So again, a review will actually pinpoint all of those lessons that you need to learn. So we can start to move forward really fast in our businesses, and we can start to really just kind of pull back from those layers, pull back from the fear, see really clearly about the direction in which we want to go in and what we need to do next. Yeah, so let's just have a look at some of this. So Carol's sharing, I blame myself for anything not working rather than looking for the real reasons it didn't work. Yes. And we do that, don't we? It's human nature. It's absolutely human nature to always blame ourselves. But that blame in itself, can you feel the energy about how much that would actually pull you back, how much it would stop you from going out there and being yourself and calling in your amazing clients and just keeping going? So actually, when you do a review, whether you do it weekly, biannually or yearly, you can get to see all of those lessons that you need to learn as well. So that's a really, really key thing. And then within the review that I'm going to share with you as a kind of printable, is that you will get to see what is working really well in your business. And believe me, these are the golden nuggets to your success, because as long as those things are in complete alignment, and if they're working well, they will be, but when you start to focus on these golden nuggets, that is absolutely the thing that you need to be doing more of. So within the downloadable that I'm going to share with you is that there's a whole section about talking about all of the things that you love to do that work really well. And the key thing here is that we really want to pinpoint those things that feel so easy for you to do, because that is when you are in flow. And the more that you can get into a state of flow and take aligned action in this way, is the greater success that you will manage to do. So it's, I'm not going to sit here and, obviously business success is about all sorts of different things, but this is one of the key things. Forgiveness is one of the key things. Lessons are one of the key things. Mindset obviously is. But also with this, it's about only really focusing on the things you absolutely love, that absolutely light you up, and that you find really, really easy to do. So can you think about some things straight away that you find really easy to do? For me, I find doing live streams really easy to do. I was talking to somebody about doing a live masterclass like this today, and they were horrified. They were like, are you really nervous before you go on? It's like, no, and I have very few notes, and I'm in flow, and it all feels really, really great. So where does that come up for you in your business? Because that is what Guy Hendricks calls it in his book, The Big Leap. That's your zone of genius. And the more that you can be in your zone of genius, the greater success that you will actually achieve as well. One of the other things that we look at within the downloadable is also identifying those things that perhaps haven't gone so well. So with a review, we look at the whole picture, because yes, we're really interested in the things that have gone really well, and we need to build in some celebration and some recognition of that, because you know what we're like, you get somebody paying you a compliment and you're like, oh, this old thing. So we never spend very much time actually celebrating the things that we're really brilliant at. So the review will actually help you to do that as well, and to really pinpoint down, your zone of genius. The other side of things is identifying, let's be grown up here, let's be strategic, let's get this thing out in the open, but look at what you're not brilliant at. Look at the things that haven't gone well. So you can do that forgiveness piece, but also from a strategic point of view, you can start to really understand where you need to focus, maybe your attention, or maybe you need some support, or maybe you need somebody else to do this for you. So let me know if this is making sense for you. So there's always kind of three elements. It's kind of like, you know, all the things that you love to do, the things that aren't going so brilliantly. And within that, it's about really saying, right, okay, so am I the best person to keep on doing this? So for me, I struggled for a long time doing Facebook ads. And all of this year, I've had somebody doing that for me who is absolutely amazing. So I've not had to do that. I've thought of the strategy and I've thought of whatever being promoted, and I've done a lot of the design work and all of those things. But in terms of actually setting it up, monitoring it, adapting it, and so on, you know, my coach Sherry has been doing that for me, and she's built various different funnels and all of those things. So sometimes we need to identify within that thing that isn't going particularly well, somebody else to do the work for you. And then there's a third aspect, which is identifying what you don't need to do, what somebody else doesn't need to do, and what you actually need to let go of. And sometimes that can be quite a big thing. Sometimes that might be like a product that you maybe thought was your signature program, but actually you discover through your review that actually it's not going particularly well. And maybe you're realizing that actually currently you feel out of alignment with it. So you make that kind of big decision about, well, you know, maybe for the first 3 months or 6 months of 2018, I will actually take that forward. What's burning up inside me instead is something else, something that would replace that. But again, until we take this time out, it's really hard to understand that we've got these things that we need to let go of. And sometimes those things are clients. And that's a big one, isn't it? Letting go of clients. I've done that a number of times. But then you've got to kind of see the other side of things is that once you've let go of these things, you've got more time and energy to do the things that you feel absolutely amazing about. So let me just put up the link for the downloadable. And if you haven't done this review work before, I really want to recommend that you do that. So just pop over to my website after this masterclass, pop onto the freebie section, and there's a whole host of resources there that you can happily sign up to. But this one is right at the top. Kelly's put it there. It's your perfectly planned and profitable 2018, and it gives you a full review package for 2017. And one of the best things to do with this, and you could make it like into a little ritual. So for me, I'm going to be sitting down doing my big review this weekend when I've got some time just to myself. And I'm going to light a candle. I'm going to have a nice drink here. I'm going to have all of all of my PayPal payments, my invoices. I'm going to have all my information, what I've been capturing over the years about my audience size and my promotions and all of my forecasting sheets. And I'm going to do this lovely, juicy, massive review. So obviously a lot of that is already in my head, but I want to get it down in this workbook. I want to work through it and actually see. And then after that, I can take a step back and go, right, okay, what really excites me? What do I want to keep and take forward in 2018? But equally, what do I want to let go of? So let's see what Carol says. I let go of my first program that wasn't working. Yes. Something I thought would see, everything has changed since then, since I let it go. I actually love it. Absolutely, Carol. So for me, if I was doing your review with you, I'd be saying, well, what was it about that particular program that you're doing now that you absolutely love? And, how can you further expand that? How are you showing up in a way? How can you show up in a way that really works with you? How is it that you were able to sell that so easily and gracefully? And actually look for the nuggets of evidence about how you absolutely shine in your business. And to give you an example, I won't use the person's name because I haven't got permission on a big scale to share it. But I was working recently with somebody, and they had a question about selling. And obviously, there's lots of advice about how you go out there and sell and all the rest of it. And I was like, well, what works for you. You know, when you're out there selling your products and services, what are the best ways for you to sell? What works really well? And she was able to pinpoint it and then just use that as her selling approach. So we can learn all the lovely strategies we want that we want, but it's really about pinpointing exactly what works for you, because it's really hard to wear and use somebody else's strategy if it doesn't actually sit in alignment. And this is exactly what this review will reveal to you, is exactly where you are showing up in your zone of genius, where you're not, and perhaps you need some support. And that support could be that you have all these great ideas, but you haven't got the capacity to actually take it to the marketplace. So maybe actually what you need is a virtual assistant. Maybe you need somebody looking after your website. So actually all you've got to do is go on and get on with it. Or it could be the third aspect, where you are busy on social media and every single day you're on Facebook, and then you realise actually, when you look at it, that a really small percentage of your business comes from social media. And that could mean that you could let go of a whole load of time that you're spending on social media. So that's one of the kind of crucial elements to this, is having the confidence, just like Carol shared, to actually let go of things that are not working for you. Hi Andrea, lovely to see you here. So has anybody got any questions about anything that I've shared so far? So who hasn't done a review, who has listened to the content I'm sharing today, who committed to doing a review? And the review that's set out in the downloadable is a full 12 months. But if you've not been in business for 12 months, that doesn't matter. The most important thing is that you start to use these tools in your business and you start to understand what is working really well for you, what you can let go of and give to somebody else to do, and what you can just stop doing totally. I mean, prior to 2016, I was working like stupid hours in my business and getting very little from it. So this is about us all working very smartly, very strategically. I've spent the majority of today not working, which is amazing, but my business is still growing, it's still thriving, because I understand what works for me, what works really well for my audience, and I hone in on those things. I don't worry about all the other stuff outside of that. So any questions about that? Who put some thumbs up if you're going to go and do this review? If it's totally talking to you and you're like, yes, I need to do this review, because it is uber important. And remember the saying, if you keep doing what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. So it's well worth taking this time out. And it never takes as long as you think it's going to do, because you know your business so intimately that actually, yes, you might need some statistics, you might need some figures, but actually, this review is going to pinpoint what's selling really well, and it's going to give you fresh ideas about how to take 2018 forward as well. So that's this week's masterclass. I'm a big fan and huge ambassador of doing reviews regularly. So any questions, let me know. We've been going for nearly 30 minutes. It's exciting stuff, isn't it? And I'd love for you, whether you're live now or listening back to the recording, I'd love for you to come in and share later on some of your ahas about what you have discovered from completing this review. Right, so if there's no final questions, let me just put that link up again for the downloadable. Go and download it today. It's completely free. Find yourself maybe 3 hours. That's maybe all you need. Or you can do it in a couple of hours chunks, can't you? And just really complete this work and go and discover what you're absolutely amazing at, and let's build that into your business in 2018. Okay? Have a very fabulous Wednesday, and I'll connect with you all again soon. Bye for now.